Following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Monday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, nope, you're not seeing double. Yes, Mo Patton will be joining us via telephone live from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, ahead of his big nights and awards reception. We'll chat with him on what he's got in store for that. Teresa Walker around 3 o'clock today. As always, a slew of topics to get into with her. Also, SEC, it just means more. Hotty-toddy. The Rebels are World Series champs back-to-back years, and the Magnolia State is the forefront of college baseball for another year. We'll react to the Ally 400 NASCAR, this big day in Nashville yesterday, and so much more on this edition of Main Street Sports Today. JP Plant alongside the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao. Again, Mo Patton will be joining us via telephone coming up in just a little bit. First of all, though, Chris, happy birthday, happy anniversary, and thanks to your wife for loaning you out today for our show. We appreciate that.
Yeah, it's Sarah's birthday, to clarify.
It
is
birthday.
my anniversary, but also her anniversary.
Well, you know, her birthday is your birthday is her birthday.
Well,
so
it is now because, I mean, we got married on her birthday. So unfortunately for her, she has to get me something for her birthday.
That's right.
It's always fun. It's been interesting because, I love whoever came up with the idea of themed gifts for your anniversary. Thank you. Because it makes gift giving so much easier.
Like copper or gold or silver or paper,
right.
Wood.
Year 3 is leather.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
And so for the last, 5 years since we started dating, all I've heard is how much she wishes she had a brand new pair, and please don't make fun of her for this, y'all. A brand new pair of Birkenstocks. She loves
fantastic shoes. She
loves the Birkenstocks clogs, and they fit really well to your feet. So hey, I'm not mad at her, but
It's high quality shoe.
it is a very well. I mean, the pair that she'd had since high school, and that was like 10 years.
Yeah,
so
I mean, they last forever. That's like
right.
a throwback to the 90s. Birkenstocks and Doc Martens.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you need?
And so I got her a new pair of Birkenstocks.
All right.
And for her birthday, she got a pair of Nike Air Maxes.
Okay.
You can tell she likes shoes a lot.
There you go. Well, yeah.
It makes it easy for me. If I ever can't come up with a gift, I just get her shoes.
That works.
She is really good though about telling me what she wants. So that's a positive.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have a whole lot of issues trying to figure out. If you listen at all, you'll know.
you don't have to go fishing, is what you're telling me.
I do not have to go fishing.
That's good. Neither do I, and that's a good thing. You're right. Just advice to maybe young married gentlemen. Chris is right. Just listen. You'll know what you need to do.
Exactly. It's really not that difficult.
They'll tell you how you need to act. Just listen. You'll be fine.
The listening part can be the most difficult, though, if we're being honest. Absolutely. You know that. Yep. Man, we do have a good show today, and I'm looking forward to it. But I want to get into our top story here momentarily, but we do have a decent little rundown. It's still just one page, but some decent scores and stuff. So we might as well get right into that so we can talk about our top story. So JP, tell us what happened this weekend and what's on tap for today, because it's almost nothing.
That's right. All right, here we go.
This is the Rundown. The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
All right, weekend results from Major League Baseball. Friday, it was the Dodgers over the Braves 4-1 in Freddie Freeman's return. Got his ring there. The Blue Jays 9-4 over the Brewers. Cubs 3-0 over the Cardinals. Reds, they are winners over the Giants 4-2 on Saturday. The Cardinals over the Cubs 5-3 the final there. The Brewers did get a win over the Blue Jays. The Giants over the Reds, and the Braves 5-3 over the Dodgers. On Sunday, the Brewers 10-3 over the Blue Jays. It took 10, but the Cubs defeated the Cardinals 6-5. Reds over the Giants 10-3, and the Dodgers in 11 5-3. So the Dodgers take 2-3 from the Braves. The Sounds 8-3, 2-1, 9-8 winners. I guess Willie Donick is now firmly planted in. You can't bring Jeff M back because Willie's 3-0 this year.
And with a walk-off on Sunday. So.
There you go. Good stuff. We chatted with Willie on Friday ahead of him calling those games. Ole Miss, it only took 2. Hotty toddy. I guess they were like, you know what? We've already secured up this Jello shot challenge. Let's just go ahead and get the baseball taken care of. 10-3 on Saturday, 4-2 on Sunday, and they are your College World Series men's champions for 2022. And as I mentioned at the top, back-to-back years for the Magnolia State with Mississippi State a year ago. I can only assume, Chris, that their parade will make a trip through Starkville just as States did through Oxford a year ago, right?
My guess is they will make they may take a detour around Oxford just to go through Tuscaloosa and Starkville on their way home.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go to Starkville, might as well go to Tuscaloosa too. Just rub it in there.
I guess.
Nashville Soccer Club 3-2 winners over DC United. And the Avalanche, last night they get the Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley, they lifted it up in Tampa. The Lightning did win Game 5 Friday night. And then last night it was Colorado 2-1 winners. So they are your Stanley Cup champions. As they win 4-2 in the best-of-7 series. USFL over the weekend. Philadelphia 19-14 over New Jersey. Birmingham defeated New Orleans, so that sets up a Philly-Birmingham championship game. Is that this weekend? This coming weekend, Chris?
Yes, it is.
Okay. CFL over the weekend. Winnipeg 26-12 over Hamilton. Calgary 30-23 over Edmonton. for the Battle of Alberta, and BC 44-3 over Toronto. Toronto taking it on the chin there. Schedule for today, pro baseball, Mariners tonight hosting the Orioles 9:10 on ESPN+. WNBA Las Vegas is at Los Angeles. That on NBA TV, and that is your Monday Rundown, brought to you by Zion Christian Academy.
Got it. We don't have a fun nickname for today's top story because it's unique in that it encompasses all of the sports, as the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame inducted their 2022 class over the weekend. The televised special event was held on Saturday at 7 o'clock. And Mike Keith, of course, was the MC hosting that. The class includes Sharifa Barksdale, R.A. Dickey, Harry Galbraith, Artis Hicks, Javon Curse, Randy Lambert, David Legwand, Nikki McCrae Pinson, David Suddeth, Tony White, David Williams II, and Toby Wilt. Also, JP, the 2022 honorees, Nashville Soccer Club principal owner John Ingram was named Tennessean of the Year.
Okay.
John Morant and Candace Parker were named Pro Athletes of the Year.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. The Grizzlies named Pro Team of the Year.
Okay.
The women of Title IX will be honored with David Williams Significant Historical Achievement Award. Dean Hayes received the Pat Summit Lifetime Achievement Award. Amateur Female Player of the Year was Rachel Heck, Heck. Heck.
What the heck?
Amateur Female Team of the Year goes to, how about this? UT Southern Women's Soccer. How about that?
Okay.
Amateur Male Player of the Year
Phoenix.
winner was Jack Leiter, and Male Team of the Year was East Tennessee State football. Sorry. Didn't mean to bring that up.
Yeah. Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Now, they did make the playoffs, though, right? Didn't
They did.
win
No,
a couple
they
games in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they were in the semifinals.
They backed up their win over Vanderbilt with a playoff run. So
sure.
I'll
Wasn't
grant them that.
It wasn't just. It could be worse, JP. You could have gotten beat by a team that didn't make the playoffs, a la Florida State.
Yeah, that's true.
Because JSU beat Florida State and didn't even make the playoffs.
Yep.
So there you go. At least you're better than FSU.
So we got that going for us.
I mean, technically. But yeah, so congrats to all the inductees for the 2022 class, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. There is an induction banquet. So, they've not had a banquet in the last 3 years, right? Because of COVID. So they're going to do the 2020, 2021, and 2022 classes all at once.
Oh, wow.
In July. So good luck to them, because can you imagine? I mean, the star-studded event that's going to be.
Yeah. My Keith rest his voice up for all of that too.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness,
names.
I wonder what that's really going to entail. Are they really going to do a whole lot of that? Or, is it going to be a lot of, come up and get your award kind of thing? Or is it just going to be, hey, we're going to eat and have a hobnob event or whatever?
Well, good news for the show. We know a guy.
We do know
Maybe
a guy.
We can call him up and get him on and ask him that.
We should.
It's a really cool, when we did our show there, I don't know, a couple of months ago, it was my first time in the actual Hall of Fame. I used to intern with the Predators when I was at MTSU. The Hall of Fame wasn't there yet, obviously, so it was my first time going in there, and what a fantastic venue there at Bridgestone Arena that they have. But just reading off some of these names, and not only the recipients for this year, but some of these Lifetime Achievement Awards. When you've got awards named after Pat Summit, after David Williams, I mean, it's just amazing how rich the sports culture is in Tennessee, and they do such a fantastic job of recognizing that, and it's a really cool event and a way to go about honoring the best in sports. And I love it that they include all the amateur realms of things as well. It's just a cool thing to do. So
Well, I think it's important to
Mhm.
include
It
the
Yeah.
those amateur teams and athletes, because not everybody. What is it? The commercial said we're all going pro in something other than sports or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nice to get a little recognition while you're still in college or below. So, all right, let's take a quick break, JP, and when we come back, we will talk to the man, our normal co-host, Mo Patton, joining us from Winston-Salem as he gets ready to take the National Sports Media Association's Sports Writer of the Year for the state of Tennessee away from our second guest, Teresa Walker. So
we thought we'd give Teresa just a little more hay before she has to hand that thing over, right?
That's right. We'll give her one last run. One last run. But Mo will join us here in the next segment, and there's no telling what we'll talk about, but his weekend in Winston-Salem may be on the agenda. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Come back with us after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Still to come on this edition of Main Street Sports Today, Teresa Walker around 3 o'clock as we will chat with about a slew of topics, including some award that she currently holds and is about to give up to our next guest, Chris Yao. But as you saw there on the title card, a double shot of Mo. Different shirt though, but yes, he will be joining us in just a moment.
Same thing, different shirts. I mean, shapes.
Same thing, different shirt.
Reaction Monday is always fun, but I'm really curious. Obviously, this weekend was unique for all of us. I had a wedding out in Bowling Green, had to go up to Kentucky, and you had the celebration of Nick Campbell's nuptials.
Nuptials, yeah. Got
And
married, on the beach. Had a little home party there.
Well, yeah, little excitement, and Mo got to hang out in North Carolina. So I'm curious what he got to do over the weekend. Mo, you there?
I am here, and I'm a little disappointed. I've not had an opportunity to, Chris, you'll appreciate this, no opportunity to hang out with Petey Pablo.
What? Did you at least take your shirt off and twist it around your head and spin it like a helicopter, though?
Like a helicopter? No, I did not. Nobody wanted that. But I do want to take you two guys to task real quick, because I see you're trying to create beef between me and your 3 o'clock guest, and I'm not going to have that.
It's no beef. We're giving her one last run.
Yeah,
as the 2020 NSMA Sports Writer of the Year. So, giving her, she's in the waning hours of her reign.
Off, huh?
That's right. She's in the waning hours of her reign. So I figured at least we'd give her that.
Oh goodness, y'all are something else.
So what's going on out in Winston-Salem?
Well, so we drove over here Saturday, and Knoxville traffic on a Saturday afternoon in June. I mean, if it's as bad as it was then, I can't imagine being up there on a game day. But we finally got over here, and they had a welcome dinner that we snuck into because we were a little late, and then they also have a little seminar series over here on Sunday and Monday for young journalists, or maybe not so young journalists, to take part in. And I guess because it was my first time over here, I got the first session on Sunday morning. Myself and a guy named Gary Lang, who does radio play-by-play for Delaware State, we presented on small market media and the importance thereof, and we had a pretty good crowd, and it went pretty well, I thought. And we imparted a little wisdom on them, and then, there was another dinner last night. It was the Legacy Awards dinner, and it was really cool because the main honoree was Jane Kennedy, who was co-host of the NFL Today on CBS back during the late 70s and early 80s, the first African-American female to co-host a studio show, and it was really neat getting to see the video that they put together to recognize her, and then getting to hear her acceptance speech, and then they did a little one-on-one with her afterwards, and that was really cool. Recognized a couple of other folks, national award winners as well, but the big awards thing obviously is tonight. They'll be recognizing some national sports writers and sportscasters of the year, and I think there are some Hall of Fame inductions that are going to take place as well. I ran into Jeff Passan from ESPN as he was checking in this afternoon after doing Baseball Tonight last night. I was watching him, and I thought, well, he ain't going to be here, and sure enough, there he was. So it was cool to chat with him for a couple of minutes. And but it's been nice to see, some of the folks that have been here, some of the folks that are supposed to be here. Scott Van Pelt may or may not be here, but I mean, it's a lot of national names, and a lot
Bob
of
Ryan's in the
doing
house.
Good work. Bob Ryan is in the house. I spoke to Bob Ryan, spoke to Kirkpatrick from Sports Illustrated. He's a Hall of Fame inductee, as is Leslie Visser. Actually met her briefly last night, and then she remembered who I was as we encountered each other on the stairs here in the hotel earlier today. So
that's a win. That's a win when they recognize you again the second time.
Leslie Visser knows who I am.
There you go.
We'll try again. We'll try again in 6 months and see if she still knows.
Hey, I go through the NSMA's Twitter account. They're retweeting a lot of these photos from the little events that you said, like you said, and I see one from Seth Wickersham, Bob Ryan, and someone else. who were reading excerpts of their latest books at a bookstore downtown. And I noticed that I don't see you in the first couple of rows. So I didn't know if you were just a back row sitter or, if you just overslept or what happened there. Cause I certainly expected you to be at that event.
I was not at the book signing event, as a matter of fact. I'm traveling as part of an entourage, including
I
Jody
saw that.
and my parents, and so we took a little excursion yesterday afternoon. They had folks who are here who have written books over the past year. They had those books on display at a local independent bookstore. They also had tours of the Wake Forest Athletic Complex that I blew off. But we went. My mom does some crafting. She does a lot of sewing and that kind of thing. And so we went to the local Joann's to see if they could find any fabric that she didn't have for some of her soft books and that kind of thing. And on the way out, we passed by Little Richard's Barbecue. Little Richard's Smokehouse. And I'm not sure. We couldn't really determine if it had any connection to the famous Richard Penniman, but I decided that we were going to go there for lunch, and it was spot on. It was a good call on my part.
Yeah. So, it's Carolina barbecue. Yeah. It's a little different than here.
Yeah, well, we didn't delve because we had another dinner to deal with, and so we didn't want to, put ourselves in position of not being able to enjoy the dinner. So we just got a few apps. But I'll tell you what, they had a taquito with barbecue with pulled pork in it, and that was solid. In fact, I think I'm going to have to try it when we get back home. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the food, Mo, because I do want to get into that here in just a little bit. But you also mentioned your entourage, and being the humble person that you are, I know you may be a little uncomfortable about receiving awards. I'm curious what it's like for you to be able to have your, quote, entourage with you to celebrate this. Knowing you as I do, I imagine that's more special than you receiving the award. What's that been like so far?
Wouldn't want to do it any other way.
Yeah.
Just that simple. Wish there were a few more folks here, but happy to have the ones that are.
Yep. Well, yep.
And that's kind of like the Hall of Fame dinner, being able to share that moment with your parents and having been there. I know it's super cool, and not everybody gets to do that. So you get that's really special for sure.
Oh, no doubt. We were kind of having that conversation earlier this morning. Jody raised the point that, folks of a certain age don't necessarily get to share these kind of moments with their parents. And I'm really fortunate.
Well, it's got to be
able to do stuff.
Yep, got to be real special. And I didn't want to make you emotional, so maybe I'll take you out of that. What's on the menu tonight?
Please do. Yeah.
What's on the menu tonight, Mo?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you what.
I have no idea.
Really?
As much Mo is talking,
really? Yeah.
everything that we've talked about here is it's a sports media convention, and of course they're doing nothing but eating.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, because that's what we do. Hell, Chris, you know that.
That's what I'm saying. I just want I just want everyone to understand that it's not just us. Like, just because we talk about food all the time on the show, like, it's not. This is how the world works in sports media. Like, we eat.
This is not an aberration, not at all. We're not the exception by any stretch. Yeah, but no. So Saturday's meal was some sort of a grilled chicken with mashed potatoes and mixed veggies with some sort of sauce over the top of them that we never could really identify, to be honest. Yesterday was, we think it was flank steak. Pretty sure it was flank steak because it was a little tough and there were a lot of folks. But along with, what do we have? Oh, potatoes are dried. A lot of potatoes on this trip.
Okay.
And steamed green beans. And again, no idea what we're having today. I'm kind of hoping for salmon because otherwise it's going to be chicken or steak.
Is there some sort of red carpet tonight, Mo? When you get there, are you going to be walking down a car? Seriously, with like people taking your photo? Is there anything of that nature?
I damn sure hope not. But there's been a photographer, as Chris mentioned.
Okay.
They've got a photographer around who's been lurking.
Yep.
So I don't know if there is a red carpet per se or not, but I'm sure there will be pictures before, during, and after.
Consider yourself warned now, so it doesn't sneak up on you when you get out of the car tonight and there's a carpet there and you got to pose. So be working on that pose, Mo.
Yeah, I'll throw a Heisman on them.
Do yes. Just don't take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spinning like a helicopter.
Yeah, no.
Spinning like a helicopter.
Yeah.
No worries. It's too hard to get into.
Just make sure you raise up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, got to. But no, I mean, I'll have on a shirt and a jacket and all that stuff. So no taking off the shirt. Everybody's safe.
Mo, have you have you had the opportunity to spend any time with the rest of the Tennessee delegation and Terry Crisp with the sportscaster portion of this? Have you run into him yet?
JP, I am the Tennessee delegation. I think Terry had I think he had a wedding in Canada or something. I'm not sure, but I don't believe Terry and his peeps are coming. So I am the Tennessee delegation.
There you go,
so.
Representing. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I had a chance to meet Ernie Johnson last night from inside the NBA, and a couple of other folks over the weekend. So it's been a pretty cool experience.
Chris, I got one more question before I let you finish this out. You mentioned Ernie Johnson. Who's the biggest or who's the biggest star for you personally, Mo, that you've met or seen throughout this weekend of process? Who stood out the most to you?
Probably Ernie Johnson and Jane Kennedy.
Okay.
I mean, I remember watching Jane when I was young, obviously, and obviously she was as well. But I mean, what she was doing then, and the level upon which she was doing it, you realize even then that it was pretty earth-shattering. And when they did the video tribute to her prior to her speaking last night, and they talked to a number of other African-American females with voices in sports media, and so many of them refer to her as their inspiration and that kind of thing. And to see someone have the impact that she's had on so many people is pretty cool.
Mo, I was going to mention and I know we'll see you again later this week on Wednesday. You'll be in studio back with us before you head out for vacation, the short vacation of the summer.
Awards honeymoon is what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But, you know,
something like that.
The Tennessee State All-Star Celebrity whatever game was this weekend, and I'm assuming that one of the players that we were excited about seeing didn't get to go because his Philadelphia Stars were, winning a North Conference championship in the USFL playoffs. But pretty exciting stuff. I don't know if you got to see any pictures of it, but I know you guys talked last week about this, and I'm really impressed with the way that Tennessee State has kind of reached out into this community, because they got a commitment today in football. So from a Nashville area player, pretty cool to see this. If you've not seen the photos, you should go check it out.
I've seen a couple of videos from it. I got to interrupt you for a second because I'm watching Scott Van Pelt get out of a van and walk into the lobby here at the Marriott.
Well, go get his phone number.
SVP is in the house. No.
Tell him we'll call him next week. We want to hear from him.
But You joke, but no, the deserved to win celebrity basketball game over at Gentry Center on Saturday. We were fortunate enough to get Kenny Collins on a couple of weeks ago to talk about that, and he did mention that Chris Rowland was on the roster, and I did think that was kind of interesting because I did think that the Stars were in the playoffs this weekend, and sure enough, they were, and he was, and so he was not in Nashville, and that's, a little unfortunate, but it looked like they had a great gathering for that event, and I just think it's fantastic that he was able to put that together, and they were able to get that kind of participation. I don't know what kind of crowd they had, but anytime you can get TSU basketball on the radar in June, I think it's a pretty good thing. Anytime you can get TSU athletics on the radar in June, I think it's a pretty good thing. And I don't know who the commitment is that they got today, but they are really making their presence felt, and they are making their presence felt in and around Nashville, and I think that's a great thing for them. I mean, to be able to build on, I don't know if you want to call it an HBCU renaissance or what it is with everything obviously that's going on down at Jackson State and with Eddie George now heading into his second year, but for them to be able to create a presence on the local landscape and maintain that's great for them.
Absolutely. Mo, enjoy tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Enjoy.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
Sounds good, guys. Y'all hold it down. Tell Teresa today.
We'll do. We'll do. All right, we're going to
All right.
take a quick break. When we come back, it's championship weekend from Omaha to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
let's talk a little bit about it and much more when we come back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. JP playing alongside the Sundrop kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, and I feel a little bad. I didn't mean to make Mo get emotional asking him that question, Chris. But
Man,
I know how much it means to him to have his quote entourage, his support, his family with him to do this. So that was really cool. It sounds like he's having just a blast, and as well he should.
Yeah. Way to go, JP.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I know. Thank God
So-
SVP walked in the building, and so maybe that distracted him a little bit.
Yeah,
Might
he
have
just
been
sent us a
little
picture of him, I guess, creeping a little on the SVP there. I was just curious why Main Street media owner Dave Gould was in the building, but apparently
Yeah, no kidding, right?
much shorter version of SVP. But
Oh,
it's
so
a,
good.
you know, he thinks I'm joking. I was serious about getting. I'm like, I'm hoping Leslie Visser remembers him when he texts her and says,
Yeah.
"Hey, can you come on the
Uh-huh.
show?" That's what
Chat
I'm
with us,
hoping
yeah.
for.
We'll really test that memory by Leslie Visser.
I remember, yeah, the Rolodex is only growing
That's right.
with this. So, the championship trophy cases are growing in the SEC.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, it just means more, Chris. Come on, right? Apparently.
So, of the 14 members in the Southeastern Conference, only one member has not played for a national championship in any of the three major men's sports since 1940. Do you know which one that is?
For a national championship. Now, does this include teams that is this only while in the SEC or
No. Current members have not played
in
for
their history?
in since 1940 period,
Okay.
whether a member of the SEC or not.
You said how many are there?
There's only one
There's
that
only
has
one?
not played for a national
Um,
championship since 1940.
I want to think it's Missouri.
No.
Not Missouri. Huh. Kentucky basketball, Florida's one football, Alabama, obviously, Auburn.
You were on the right track.
It's not Arkansas. Is it Texas A&M?
It is Texas A&M.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
That's wild to me.
That is wild. Yep.
So Texas A&M has
Since 1940.
since 1940 has not played for a national championship in baseball, basketball, or football.
Man. Well, they're trending.
hard to believe.
They're trending in the direction to knock that off their list soon in multiple sports. You know, make it to the World Series this year. Football with what they're doing, and Jimbo, and you know they've had a run or two in basketball. Wouldn't be out of the question. Texas Tech did it.
Certainly sounds like they need to, because in the SEC you better figure it out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Brandon Johnson, we talked about the Ole Miss closer last week with Mike Korn, former Columbia State Charger, seals the deal for Ole Miss in their 4-2 win over Oklahoma. And, you know, I didn't watch either of the games.
Unfortunately, I didn't either. Saturday, of course, you know, I had a function, and then yesterday, after things leading up to Sunday, I didn't do much of anything yesterday. So I didn't, and I also didn't realize that it was an afternoon game. So when you sent out the hotty toddy text, I was like, is it already over? I assumed that it would be a prime time. I don't know. Did they move it up for weather?
I don't think so.
Or it was originally scheduled for a Sunday afternoon?
Pretty sure. Now, here's the thing. I turned it on in just to it was about 2:30 or so. Charlie went down for a nap, and I was like, I'll just turn it on, because why not? You know. As soon as I turned it on, nobody on, 2 outs. Oklahoma then loads the bases.
Oh, wow.
Ole Miss walks in a run. I'm like, you know what? Clearly I'm bad luck for Ole Miss. I'm turning it off.
Turn it off.
Turned it off. Oklahoma doesn't score again. Ole Miss
There you
scores, wins the. I was like, hey, I
Just
guess I'm
add that to the list that you're banned of either watching or attending. Chris. It's
clearly.
growing. It is.
The list is about a mile long at this
You're not going to be able to attend any sports or watch anything before too much longer.
I can't. I mean, when I do, if I have any sort of rooting interest at all, my team loses. Didn't watch the Braves last night, and they didn't win, but that's a whole nother story. But Ole Miss. How about Ole Miss? This is a team that was in May was last. Tennessee swept them, then Alabama swept them in Oxford. And you thought, man, Tennessee broke this team.
Yeah.
And last in the SEC West, last team to get into the SEC tournament, last team to get into the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
And now today they stand as national champions.
What a roller coaster, because you talked about that Tennessee series where the Vols just literally broke them, and we thought for the whole season they were number one in the country. Ole Miss was heading into that series.
So clearly the voters knew something.
So they went from obviously extremely high expectations heading into the season, rightfully so. A lot of credibility, number one ranking at that point of the season. A lot of losses, and you think, what a fall, what a horrible fall from the number one team in the country to potentially not even making the SEC tournament. And they go
and lost in the first round of the SEC tournament.
And as you mentioned, one of I guess the last team by many indications into the field of 64. And to be able to go from that and to flip, and it wasn't just a flip like a switch, but still that roller coaster is just remarkable. And goes to show you when you get on a run like what they had, and heading into the World Series, and we talked about this, who we thought might have the best chance, and it was kind of a wide open field because so many of the top seeds didn't make it to Omaha. Texas A&M at 5 being the highest, the only one of the top 8, if I'm not mistaken, to make it in. And so, but Ole Miss was right there with Texas A&M, probably even playing better than anybody. In the regionals, the super regional, and they just carried that over. Their only blemish was that 3-2, I think, loss to Arkansas in the bracket championship game 1. They came back and held on and got just that masterful performance by DeLucia, going 9 innings. I mean, who does that anymore in college baseball or the majors in particular?
That's something that gets a little bit lost in this, is that their ace didn't even pitch in the championship series because he had to get them there.
Yep.
That's what's insane. I mean, you just have to tip your hat to Ole Miss, and it was an absolute, it was Oxford North.
Yeah.
I mean, the crowd was nothing but Ole Miss. I was going through Twitter, and someone, I don't remember who it was, posted a video of Oklahoma fans in that 7th inning where they scored the go-ahead run to go up 2-1.
Yeah.
And it sounded like it was a pretty decent sized crowd on TV. No. I mean, that video, you could tell that there were 17,000 seats in Charles Schwab, and maybe 2,000 of those were Oklahoma fans. I mean, it was packed full of Ole Miss Rebel fans. So
they show up
and have never lost a party, as they tipped 18,000
on the Jello shot.
18,000 the Jello shots.
I guess Arkansas ended up finishing second because Oklahoma had a long way to go to catch up, right?
Yeah, they weren't even close. Before we get out of here, Colorado winning the Stanley Cup in Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay did force Game 6 and nearly forced Game 7.
Yep.
But the best team won.
Oh, no question.
And as I mentioned earlier off the before we got on the show, apparently there is a connection with the Nashville Predators and the Stanley Cup final losers. If you play the Predators in an outdoor hockey game, expect to get to the Stanley Cup final, but you're not going to win. Sorry. First Dallas, now Tampa Bay. Here we are. So
yeah, the only 2 times they played in a stadium series game, and So be leery if you want to schedule them for that. Although, hey, getting the Stanley Cup final, nothing to sneeze about.
No, absolutely not. I'd take it again.
I would too. Yep, I'd take it again.
Let's take another quick break. When we come back, we can take a quick halftime. We can do a quick halftime.
You got a quick one?
Okay. Yeah, we got a quick halftime. Right. So come back, short break, halftime. Then we'll get to the second half after that. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. JP, you see they found trash on Mars?
No, I did not see that. What constitutes as trash, though? I mean, I guess that's just any object?
No, it's actual. It's actual human trash. It's a piece of a thermal blanket.
Huh.
From a rocket powered jetpack. So yeah, humans are now littering other planets. That's not ideal.
No. I mean, I guess that's one way to try to correct global warming is just stop littering our planet and go litter somebody else's.
Who cares if we litter theirs?
Good Lord.
I mean, nobody's living there. Who needs it? I mean, look. I mean, not to get into evolutionism or creationism, but like, what's the point of other planets?
That's a very good question.
We don't need them. We don't need them. I mean, are they just blocking the sun on occasion? Like,
maybe, or again, overflow dumpster. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no other good use for them. So, I mean, I'm just saying, give me a decent use for them, and we can talk about it. But until then, I mean, landfill seems to be a good option.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just goes to show you that women are much tidier than men, because women are from Venus, men are from Mars.
That's right.
This planet has the trash on it.
Of course, it's Mars.
It's Mars. Yes.
Of course, that's the only one they've got a rover on too. I wonder if Venus.
Nobody knows that.
They haven't tried to get over to Venus yet. Why is it just Mars? Why have we not tried to get
proximity? Maybe
I guess.
I'm not a scientist, but I think Mars is the closest planet, right?
It is.
From my 7th grade science class.
Yeah,
I think
so.
Was it 7th grade? I don't know.
I just don't know why we care. Anyway, trash on Mars. It's not a candy bar wrapper, though. It's not a Mars bar wrapper.
Okay.
Although if it were, that would have been great.
That would have been great.
All right, let's take a break. Braves when we come back after this.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Second half action here on Main Street Sports today. Teresa Walker on deck coming up in just a little bit as we'll chat on a variety of topics. Also, we've got USFL Conference Championships over the weekend and some more news from a guy who some think doesn't follow the league, but maybe he does a little bit. We'll talk about that and so much more. Got our daily Braves chatter coming up as well as we welcome you back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. JP Plant alongside Chris Yao, our award-winning, illustrious co-worker, Mr. Mo Patton, is in North Carolina setting to well, he's going to get an award tonight, but mostly it looks like he's creeping up on Scott Van Pelt. So we'll we look forward to having him back on Wednesday and to hear all the wonderful news of tonight. As so proud of him to get that award. So in the meantime, Chris and yours truly will hold the fort down, hold our own forts down. So as we get into our daily Braves chatter, Chris, and I know going into the weekend with the Braves and Dodgers, you were looking at Mo asked you, what's the play here? What are you happy with? All the news and surrounding Freddie Freeman and playing, of course, the Dodgers, the team that the Braves beat in the NLCS. You were hoping the Braves to take 2 out of 3. It didn't quite happen, but what's your take coming out of this weekend from the Braves' perspective as they move forward?
With as much talent as the Atlanta Braves have in their arm barn, there is absolutely zero reason that both Max Fried and Spencer Strider did not get wins this weekend. Max Fried pitched a gem on Saturday. Arm barn goes out, blows it. Now, granted, the Braves offense was able to pick up the win for A.J. Minter.
Yeah.
On Sunday, Spencer Strider goes out against the freaking L.A. Dodgers and acts like he's Roger Clemens throwing 98, striking folks out, waving goodbye to Cody Bellinger as he walks off the mound. Up 2-0 in the bottom of the ninth. 2 outs, nobody on, 2 strikes. And Kenley Jansen blows it.
This is not the first time you guys have talked about a 9th inning for the Braves. If they didn't have to play the 9th inning, they might be in first place in the NL East at this point, right?
It's insane. I don't understand how Will Smith and Kenley Jansen, 2 of the best closers in the game while they were out on the West Coast, respectively with the Giants and the Dodgers, come to Atlanta and can't get the job done. It is ridiculous that the Atlanta Braves, as much talent as they have, do not have a shutdown closer. I'm almost to the point where A.J. Minter has pitched so well that I would put him back in the role at this point.
Well, I mean, it may turn to that, but it's
not going to turn to that. It's Brian Snicker. He's Mr. Loyalty.
Well, Jansen, of course, as you mentioned, coming from L.A., of course, he wasn't Part of that Freddie Freeman deal?
No, they were both
not.
They were both free agents.
Free agents.
Freddie signed with L.A.
But Jansen coming from the Dodgers, playing his old team. Now I don't necessarily think that had anything to do with it, but I don't know. Maybe sometimes the nerves. Was that his first time going against his old team? No, we played them out there. That's right. Yeah, and he did well out there, right?
Yeah, none of it makes sense. I don't understand coming into this season, the one thing we didn't think we were going to have to worry about was the bullpen. There was zero reason to be worried once the game got to the 7th inning. And now it's all I'll worry about. I mean, Michael Harris II made a play in center field in the 10th inning that had I think a 42% catch probability. And he made it look like it was a routine fly ball.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't even have to dive. Just
how do they determine that, by the way?
Launch angle, exit velo.
Gotcha.
So
launch angle,
and exit velocity.
And exit velocity.
So yeah, I mean, so and distance, obviously.
That, yeah. So
and then distance.
It's amazing what numbers and computers can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, launch angle and exit velo is obviously you've got a camera on the hitter and you can see that kind of thing, but it's insane how good this team is in certain areas. And then look, Matt Olson, excited to have him, glad we've got him. If the Braves had Freddie Freeman, they don't lose Sunday. They've not lost a couple of games if they have Freddie Freeman over Matt Olson because of his defense. Matt Olson does not have the glove that Freddie Freeman has, and it's cost the Braves a couple times. And that's just
though, right?
No. I mean, Freddie is a seriously good defender at first base, so it's understandable, but and it's going to work itself out over time. But my goodness,
frustrating week.
Letting balls hit off the edge of your glove and that sort of thing is just it's tough. It's tough to take as a fan. It really is. I guess if we were Braves analysts, JP, we could not talk like that.
No, according to history.
Because this day in Braves history, back in 2000, the Braves apparently made a decision to bar their team announcers from charter flights and then backed off from that decision when Skip Carey, Pete Van Wieren, Joe Simpson, and Don Sutton were kicked off of a flight in Montreal and had to take a commercial flight after they raised questions about the catcher's box at Turner Field.
That's mind-blowing. Listen, I've been on team planes, and I get that there is a line, when you're paid by the organization, that it's kind of tough to cross. And I guess at that point they were Braves, maybe employees, and now there's kind of a separation. Bally or Fox Sports over the last several years, in conjunction. Now the team obviously has a right to who they hire and who they don't, but that's interesting. And Hall of Fame, you kicked the Hall of Famer off the plane, Don Sutton. Come on,
Skip Carey. Skip Carey got kicked off the plane. That's insane.
You're better than that, Braves.
Anyway, let's take a break. Teresa Walker joins us on the other side of it, so stick around. Main Street Sports Day is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, JP Plant, coming to you from our humble abodes. I'm in Columbia, JP in the Berg. Glad to have you guys with us on this Reaction Monday as we continue to react to the world of sports throughout the weekend. And JP, we had a pretty big race in Nashville this past weekend, but I don't know if you know this or not. The All-American 600 is set for July 1st in the iRacing series.
Huh.
Yeah, so they're going to do the
in Nashville.
So, well, this is the old school All-American 600 that used to be, one of the bigger races of the year, right?
Yeah.
It's not a real race anymore. It's only on iRacing.
Okay.
So they take the Xfinity Series cars, and folks, you sign up to be in the race or whatever from your iRacing rig.
Okay.
And you get a chance to be in the All-American 600.
This is like the old IROC?
No. This is virtual racing.
Virtual.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they're doing this, and the All-American 400 will race in October, but the 600 is July 1st on iRacing, so you can actually watch it Friday night, 7:00 on a YouTube partner. So
virtual racing.
How about that? Just taking, and here's the thing. Chase Elliott, winner of the Ally 400, mentioned the Nashville Fairgrounds, and Teresa Walker was there to get that sound bite and quote, and she tweeted it out as well. She should have. Teresa Walker joins us now in her final waning moments as the Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year from the NSMA. So your reign is coming to a close, Teresa. Yep. Are you ready to hand off the award to Mo?
Well, I think it's kind of technically been his anyway since they made the announcement back in January. So, because remember they'll announce the 2022 sports writer for Tennessee next January. So, but yeah, he's about to get his grubby hands on a trophy that's very much similar to 4 that I have back over on my back of my office here.
She just pulled the Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you
four
time.
Just saying, not saying, just saying. So, but congratulations to Mo. I'm so very, very glad that he got to go. And if not for the Ally 400 and the NASCAR being in Nashville this last weekend, I had hoped to be in Winston-Salem to watch him walk across the stage and get that tonight. But no, I did not get home until 1:15 this morning, thanks to the wonderful day into night race that we endured yesterday. Just saying.
That was insane, was I mean, of course, weather you can't predict that, but tough to have to deal with all of the starting and stopping.
Oh, so much. And the first time it was a 30-minute delay for lightning, and during that 30 minutes there was another lightning bolt, so it ended up being just about 60 minutes stoppage for lightning. No rain, and then got some more laps in. We were 10 laps from being an official race, and then the rain started. And boy, did it come down. At one point, it was coming down sideways. It was coming down so hard, it sounded like it was hailing. Now I walked over to the door to make sure it wasn't hail. And sure enough, there was a big, cloud to ground lightning bolt. The people who took cover under the grandstands, I hope they were safe. I'm not taking cover under metal grandstands in a thunderstorm in the summer. Metal conducts lightning so very well. It was 2 hours, guys, 2 hours. Wow. It took nearly just shy of 7 hours to get that race done. So, credit to Chase Elliott for, surviving, sticking around. His car wasn't great at the beginning of that race, and they were able to tweak it and make some changes and get it adjusted. And when they had a caution in the final, I think it was 9 laps to go, they pulled out the caution flag. And it's like, we were all like, oh no. But he stayed out there along with he was part of 10 cars that stayed on the lap or stayed on the track, and while others pitted. And you're thinking, he's gambling here. He's gambling. Well, as soon as they dropped the flag on the restart with 4 laps to go, he just ran away with it. So obviously he and his crew chief made the right decision. And then he gets in, and once he started talking to reporters, let's just say that's when it got really interesting.
No doubt.
I mean, I tweeted out some of it last night, and I retweeted a little while ago. Jenna Fryer, our motorsports writer, did a column on it, her in the pits, and, making it very clear that, Chase Elliott couldn't help, I'm quoting from her, the way she wrote, couldn't help but wonder if NASCAR is still at the wrong racetrack. Now, here's the thing. Speedway Motorsports closed on, they bought the track, the Nashville Super Speedway, over the winter. So they own that track. They control it. They also have the rights to manage the fairgrounds track. And they've been talking with Nashville about getting something done. Now, Marcus Smith, he obviously was, tied up. He wasn't at the Super Speedway this week. His father, Bruton Smith, died last Wednesday at the age of 95. And then we found out over the weekend, I think yesterday, that his mother had a stroke maybe Friday. So he's been busy. But, he and his company have been talking to Nashville about, there's an agreement to rework and do some things around the fairgrounds. Now, exactly what that is. Do they move this date from the Super Speedway here? You've got the Grand Prix that races here in August with IRL. I mean, let's face it, Nashville for so long couldn't buy NASCAR's attention, suddenly has it in a very, very big way. And Chase Elliott made it clear. It's like, listen, NASCAR is racing 30 to 45 miles away from the towns, like up in Michigan and Atlanta, Miami, which is Homestead. And guys, I was born in Homestead, so I know how long a drive that is to Miami. And he said, listen, there's this fairgrounds track, which has got so much history. It's so cool. Don't think about it. It's not 45 miles to it. It's 15 blocks. You can have a crowd in that place and be packed. Oh yeah, it's a cool town, and it's inside of the downtown. It's a stone's throw from Lower Broad almost. So, maybe Ryan Tannehill would have to throw the stone, but, but that's the thing. It's like that, that's where you can be. And, he made his case very clear. As I was walking out, you could tell some of the folks who worked very hard at reviving the Super Speedway, not too happy. I mean, you just threw a big party all weekend long, and somebody is kind of, making some comments about the dinner you served. It never makes you very happy. But, that's the thing. He has raced at the fairgrounds. He ran there in the SRX a couple of years ago and won. And he's, I remember going to a news conference at the fairgrounds where he was getting ready to do a race. I think he was 19 at the time or something like that. So it was just after Kyle Busch had smashed the guitar a few months earlier. So other things came to the bear. But, it's an interesting situation, and don't have a timeline on when they are racing at the fairgrounds. But as Chase Elliott made clear, hey, Nashville Soccer's shown us that you can park and get people in and out of that place. Not too bad. So let's wait and see what the future brings, okay?
Teresa, isn't there room for both?
That's the thing, JP. It sure seems like there could be. And as Jenna points out in her column, there are people in racing who think Nashville can support this. And for people who still think of Nashville as a tiny little town, Hello, have you drove by downtown lately? I mean, there's still 10 to 12 cranes building on any given day. Some days it's 17. And so you've got the interest, you've got people moving here, you've got companies moving here, Oracle, Shurian, Alliance, Bernance and stuff. I mean, you've got, people bringing headquarters here. So there's more and more people. I think the last number I saw was 76 people a day are moving to Nashville still. So, that to do at this point, what would be maybe 3 races in the Nashville area in a calendar year, why not? And I know that Bristol is technically in Tennessee, but guys, there's 3 parts to the state, and East Tennessee Bristol's way over there. So, and right now Bristol's got their own issues. There's a reason why they're doing dirt on the track in the spring, trying to help make things different. And that's the thing that the Nashville Fairgrounds track does. It is different. It is small. It's a 5/8 track. They've been racing there since 1904, back when it was horses. They had the NASCAR and the top level of NASCAR through 1984. And, the legends, the Hall of Famers raced at the fairgrounds. And, it's different, it's unique, and it's funky, and it's different. And, NASCAR, they've got a lot of tracks that look alike. Well, Nashville Fairgrounds do not look like anything else. So the closest thing might be Bristol. And even then it's different, because if you're going to pan out from the stands at the fairgrounds, you're getting downtown in the background, not a bunch of rolling hills.
Yeah, the optics are great, right, Chris?
That's the thing that's what makes, that's what NASCAR needs. NASCAR needs a little bit less country, a little more city. And if you can get both in one, you get, Nashville is the perfect combination of both country and city. And if you're trying to build a fan base, getting into those urban areas is a huge win, in my opinion. So I don't think Chase Elliott is wrong necessarily, but I also don't think the super speedway is a terrible place to race either. I think you could have a race at both places and it'd be okay.
Oh, absolutely. Think about this. As I was driving into the super speedway yesterday, tons and tons and tons of RVs. You've only got grandstands on one side of the track, and then on the other side, there's lots of room for all the RVs. Well, if you're at the fairgrounds, I'm sorry, that ain't happening. But what you're gonna do, kids who've grown up on Fast and Furious, guess what? Suddenly they're seeing the cars going around the track with this, the tall buildings. I'm not going to call them skyscrapers. I'm from Chicago, but they're very tall buildings for Nashville. You see that in the background. It's going to help draw in potentially some new people, new fans, new eyeballs, and new interest for a sport that definitely needs it. And guess what? Over the weekend, Bernard Pollard, former Titan safety, was out there. Alvin Kamara, former Tennessee Vol, was out there. Derrick Henry, O.J. Howard were out there for this race. You had Kane Brown doing, I think he did the anthem. I'm trying to remember correctly. And then also you had, Michael Jordan was out there, at least on Saturday. I never saw him on Sunday when I was out there. But, you've got a lot of people, that are not NASCAR's longtime demographic, and there's interest there, and it's just a matter of NASCAR maybe finding the right fit for some of their races to help tap into what could be a chance to broaden their fan base considerably.
Teresa, from the community standpoint, I guess, of this obviously being a Nashville Superspeedway race, the fairgrounds, the two factions here, how much intermingling is there to coexisting to potentially having these 2 weekends?
Well, that's a great question, JP. But the fact that Speedway Motorsports owns the super speedway and has the rights, to work with Nashville on trying to, tweak, develop, upgrade the Nashville Fairgrounds, that has to play into it, because Speedway Motorsports is a monster in the NASCAR community, and usually when they want something, they usually get it. So is it the all-star race? There's been a lot of speculation. Maybe you take that out of Charlotte, and they've already brought their season awards to Nashville the last couple times, right? So and there's been a lot of speculation. Let Nashville host your all-star event. that way you can do what you want, all the events down Lower Broad and take advantage of that. And then that would segue into a week or two later into CMA Fest. So it's like there are a lot of options here depending on how they want to go.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, Chris. It's set up to have this, as she just mentioned. The politics often are the hurdle for making things like this happen. But as she just explained, they're kind of set as best they can be for this to happen.
Well, when you have the same people who are in charge of both tracks, it's obviously a positive because you're not fighting you're not fighting someone else. Speedway's not fighting Dover or something like that. I mean, it's the exact same company. So that's where it really becomes a positive for Nashville, is that it seems like everybody's kind of working in one direction, and the direction is to make Nashville a NASCAR city again. And it really, there is a faction of NASCAR fans who absolutely love the nostalgia. I mean, the nostalgia is all that there is left for some fans, and the fairgrounds obviously, allude to that. So it's interesting. It's the Ally 400 is a great event. They've done a great job putting it on, especially Speedway this year in their first year hosting it. It's a little bit easier to get out of the traffic when there's only half the people still left, though, Teresa.
Chris, but I'll say this: getting in and out. I know that the attendance was not what it was a year ago, but they addressed that issue. Okay, now maybe they could have done a better advertisement, gotten that news out maybe months earlier, weeks earlier to help with ticket sales. But when I got off 840, there was no line. And I got to the credential area within 2 minutes of getting off of 840. And that's only because I had to slow down because, they had like 3 lanes going, to turn into, they expanded the traffic areas. They expanded the ways to get into the super speedway. They didn't shoot. They were even delivering porta potties for people, that were there early to take advantage of the Brothers Osborne concert before the race. So, give credit to Eric Moses and the super speedway folks. In Speedway Motorsports, they made this a much better event for fans. Unfortunately, there were some fans turned off from last year who were like, I'm good. I don't need to go again this year. So hopefully they give them another chance if they are on the NASCAR schedule next year.
Well, also there are probably about half of those fans left in the middle of one of the rain delays, and they were like, "Hey, maybe we should just leave. It's pretty rough out here." So,
well, it was so hot early, and then you get the rain delay. It's like, I'll just say this: people who go out to races in the summer, particularly here, you've got to be a patient person, and you've got far more patience than I have. So God bless you.
Before we let you go, I want to ask you one quick question. This whole thing just keeps getting weirder, and for whatever reason, it's no one who in the general public is understanding the Nashville Metro Council and the state of Tennessee and the Tennessee Titans deal for a new stadium. Why is it so hard to explain what the deal is going to be? Is it because Metro just wants to keep throwing wrenches into this thing?
No, the state has already put their money. Think of it as 3 pies,
right?
Or three slices of the same pie. So you've got the state slices done. $500 million for an enclosed stadium.
As long as it's got a roof, you're getting money.
Exactly. 1%. I think it was a 1% hotel tax so that visitors can help pitch in and help pay for the taking care of the stadium. Then you've got, private money, big chunk of it, about $700 million, presumably from the Titans owners, Miss Amy Adams Strunk, and maybe some money from the NFL. The third component is Metro Nashville and how they work that out. And that's the part that they're still negotiating and working through right now. And, they're working on that while they have the firm working on the renderings and things like this. It's just working through the details, negotiations. Metro's not going to want to do everything the Titans want them to do, and the Titans aren't going to do everything that Metro wants them to do. So they're negotiating. I expect it to be done. I mean, once those renderings come out by fall, it feels like the timeline is to get the financial component settled over this year so that they can start locking in prices for this renovation and well, not renovation, but a new stadium, because they want to keep it on the timeline of opening for the 26 season. So to me, it's not that tough. It's just people who maybe get a little stubborn and don't want to think about it. And I'm just going to slide over there. There's my trophies over there. Just there we go. There we go. Mo's getting one of those tonight.
What one?
Yeah, he's only getting one. But Teresa, we appreciate it as always. Thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks, Chris and JP.
All right, when we come back, we are going to talk about the USFL. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TERESA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. JP?
Hey!
I know I don't follow the league, but we should definitely talk about the USFL.
We need to, yeah. A big weekend down in Beham.
Well, no, Canton.
Oh, that's right. They moved to Canton for this.
Yeah, the playoffs are in Canton because the Birmingham is getting ready for the World Games.
Yeah.
Super exciting for Birmingham. Super exciting for Canton. Had a solid turnout for the USFL semifinals, and Philadelphia downed New Jersey 19-14, and Birmingham got a big win 31-17 over New Orleans. And I have to mention that because at the end of the regular season, New Jersey ended the year 9-1, as did Birmingham. Birmingham in week 1 defeated New Jersey. And yet, New Jersey, coach of the year, offensive player of the year, and were sitting atop the power rankings at the end of week 10.
Little built-in bias, you think?
I have no idea what people were thinking, other than Birmingham does not have a great quarterback. You know, Jamar Smith has not been great at all year long.
But they've had the best record, though, correct?
But they've had the best record because they got a fantastic defense. Well, Saturday, Jamar Smith said, when the going get tough, the tough get going. Or what was it that Rube Baker said? The tough get going, the going get tough, or going get tough. I don't know. Anyway.
I think Billy Ocean may have said something about that too, right?
Yeah, but Rube screwed it up, which is why I always try to get the mess up that Rube from Major League. Highest quarterback rating of the weekend, Jamar Smith out of Birmingham.
Okay.
Late in the game, in the fourth quarter, he made a couple of decisions, pulled the ball down, run for some first downs, made a couple great throws on third down to extend the last drive of the game. Matter of fact, made a couple big throws there. It just felt like every throw that he had to make, he absolutely put it on the money. And there's something to be said for that. You know, guys who don't necessarily have the best talent in the world or the best arm talent. And when the game's on the line, though, that's who you need. That's who you want under center. And Jamar Smith's one of those guys. So Birmingham advances to the inaugural championship game, which will be held this weekend. And USFL announced this morning that teams will play in home markets in 2023.
Okay. Is that a good thing, you think?
I don't know. I'm curious because I think this is a reactionary move from what the XFL is doing.
Okay.
The XFL with their practice hub being in Houston and then shipping everybody out to play games in home cities.
Okay.
Now
I'm assuming a better attendance is the idea.
I do think they will get better attendance in the XFL than the USFL got. Obviously, I don't necessarily think they'll get. There will be some cities that will be lower than others, and St. Louis will probably have one of the higher attended teams. But I'm curious if the USFL is going to go that route or if they're going to go the, put everybody in their home cities where they're practicing there, they're playing there and everything, or if they'll do what they did this year and have Birmingham be the hub like the XFL and then just, fly everybody to Philadelphia or New Jersey or wherever. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
In 2024, they expect to expand from 8 teams. So NBC and Fox both say they are very happy with a profitable first season. So they made profits, didn't lose money.
Well, and ultimately that will be what determines all this, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
look,
it's all going to come down to money.
They could play a hub for 3 years. If it made money, it wouldn't go away.
Yep. And I'm sure that's cheaper on the networks.
It would be. So that's why I don't know why they're trying to chase what the XFL is doing, unless they just really feel like if this was profitable, let's see what happens in year 2.
Yeah.
So
Sure,
hopefully we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot.
Buy-in too, for maybe from.
Sure,
it's kind of hard to do that if you're not playing in your market. So
absolutely. Yeah. So that's the key. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Birmingham and Philadelphia will play for the USFL championship on Saturday in Canton, Ohio. I won't be there, unfortunately.
Can't do it on their home field.
I know. I wish I would go, but I have a wedding Saturday, so it's unfortunate. It is what it is. Hey, tomorrow, as always, Chip Walters will join us. So, be a lot of fun. We'll have Top 5 Tuesday. It will not be SEC stories. We got to wait
for Mo on that one.
Well, not only do we have to wait for Mo, we got to wait for SEC Media Days.
That's true. That's right.
So,
yep.
Looking forward to that. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter at @MS_sports today, at Chris Yao 14, at JPPSec, and at MoPatton_sports. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well. And subscribe on YouTube so you know when we are going live.
Yeah, and tomorrow we can also shed some light on some future happenings from a broader perspective. Like you mentioned, SEC Media Days, some details on that and other things.
Oh, yeah. Going to be a lot of
some
fun.
love, yep.
A lot of fun. So come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We appreciate it. For Mo out in Winston-Salem and JP in the Berg, I'm Chris Yao saying, hella goodbye from Columbia. See you then.